Sega.
Man, Sonic Unleashed. Where do I begin? Well, to start, Sonic Unleashed was released on November 18th, 2008, where the Sonic franchise, the games respectively, were in a rough state, as the last two major titles, Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 and Sonic and the Secret Rings, were both released to poor and mixed reception. And while the franchise flourished in the realm of portable releases, modern Sonic could never really find its footing. Rumors had been going around at the time of a new major Sonic title, in which those rumors were confirmed true by a multitude of leaks, pressuring Sega to announce the title as soon as possible. So, 10 days later, after many leaks prior to the game's actual announcement, Sega gave us our first look of what was to come for the future of the Sonic franchise on April 3rd, 2008, dropping a short gameplay trailer and a few screenshots upon the announcement of the game, under the working title Sonic World Adventure, as it was initially intended to be the third installment of the Sonic Adventure series. This trailer showed off high-speed gameplay in a new world that was unfamiliar to the Sonic franchise at the time, and not very much was known, as the announcement didn't reveal much, and as anticipation for this new title grew, the skepticism grew too, as the Sonic franchise had been known to overhype and underdeliver upon release. So while everything that had been shown prior to release looked good, fans were nervous on how the game would actually be. Nothing too major really happened between the initial announcement of the game up to its release. There were bits and pieces of gameplay and information that released a little over a month after the game's announcement. An official name change to Sonic Unleashed, as the game had developed enough innovations to be its own standalone title while still retaining its working name in the Japanese market. A E3 2008 trailer that gave players their first look into the night stages, revealing a small amount of gameplay for their new Hedgehog character, and some hands-on gameplay that most major game news sites reported on. But other than that, the public had to wait to get their hands on this brand new Sonic title. Upon release, Sonic Unleashed was received incredibly negatively by game critics, criticizing the game's level design, controls, the collectathon aspect, and especially the Hedgehog. The levels, the controls, and just the idea that what made this game great was absolutely tarnished by the slow pace of the Hedgehog levels, leaving any hope that the game had to rest. But the reception of the fans was a total 180. Fans praised the new direction that the Sonic franchise was going in. They adored the day stages, and while tedious, shared plenty of love for the night stages too. Clearly there's a huge disconnect between the consensus between reviewers and fans, so who's to trust? Now, when this game came out, I wasn't even 6 years old yet, and I barely even knew what a Sonic was, as the only Sonic-related media I had ever consumed were fan games and weird flash animations, and there were a lot of the latter half that I should not have been watching at the ripe age of 5 years old. My first actual experience of Sonic Unleashed was when I was 7. I was being babysat and would fire up the demo for the game on their Xbox 360 and play it for hours, which could be attributed to me sucking really bad and getting stuck at this part.
What the fuck? What the fuck is this? That is not funny. That is not, there's nothing.
But I remember genuinely enjoying it a lot, enough to the point where I got the game for Christmas. For the Wii. And if you were lucky enough to not play Unleashed on the Wii or PlayStation 2, good for you, because it's definitely a game. Okay, it wasn't that bad, but it's nowhere near the experience in the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. I was never lucky enough to experience the true way to play Unleashed, as I recently acquired a 360, but had no controller, none of the cords, and I was too lazy to hunt down a copy of the game. So I thought that was the nail in the coffin for that experience. Until I got myself a Series S for Christmas, and, for those that don't know, certain games receive optimizations for the next-gen Xboxes, including Sonic Unleashed. So instead of settling for a playable experience on the 360, I bought myself a copy of Unleashed, installed it, and loaded it up. Holy damn. Playing Unleashed on modern hardware not only blows the experience on the Wii out of the water, but being finely tuned and optimized for 1080p at 60 FPS, this is the absolute definitive way to play through Sonic Unleashed. The controls feel snappy and responsive, the environments look lush and beautiful, and the overall quality of the game just feels top-notch in comparison to the experience that was available upon release. The Hedgehog sections are still questionable, but they're a lot more playable and enjoyable than the experience on the original hardware is intended for. So, how does this game stack up over 14 years later? I mean, it's been over 14 years since this game came out, right? Surely it still can't be the best modern Sonic game. It absolutely is. Not only does Unleashed do everything right with modern Sonic, all neatly wrapped in a tight package, the day stages set the bar for Boost Sonic, being used as the foundation for the future of Boost Sonic gameplay. And the night stages were a lesson to be taught. While they weren't bad, they really took away from the pacing of the game by introducing longer format stages that you couldn't blast through, which left a bitter feeling in a lot of players. Now, I can't just say that the game is the best modern Sonic game and leave it at that, as there are a few major aspects that make this game great, and I'd like to quickly dissect those few major aspects that make this game so great. And to begin, I'd like to start with the level design and world building. No good game is good without good level design, and level design isn't good without good world building as a foundation. Sonic Unleashed not only nails their level design, but the continents that you explore and the NPCs you interact with allows you to make a more personal connection to the game, as you learn about the internal struggles of each hub in the continents. You learn their names, their hobbies, and sometimes their internal conflicts, showing that the people of these small towns feel a sense of security in the presence of Sonic. Each one of the continents and stages have their own identity, while sticking to the game's unique art style. Each stage feels natural, as every platform, rail, and interactable element feels like it fits naturally into the world, even including some special elements, like drums replacing the springs in some part of Missouri, or, correct me if I'm wrong, the houses in Adabat being used as platform sections in the early part of the day stage. And the music. God damn! Now, if you've only experienced Unleashed on the hardware it was launched on, you could understandably disagree with this, especially with the later parts of the game due to poor optimization and performance, but the gameplay is so smooth. The tight and snappy controls paired with the boost mechanic makes for the best modern Sonic experience to this date. The way you can either speed right through every stage, or take it slow and find every hidden collectible lets you choose how you want to experience the game. Now, even though the Hedgehog stages still feel a bit clunky, the combat is fun, and while it can get a little repetitive, it's managed to be kept fresh by introducing new moves and mechanics as you level up and progress. Truly next level stuff. Hey, this next part is going to have some spoilers, so if you don't want to get spoiled for the game, skip to this part right here. Thanks. And last, the story, which shows Sonic at his most emotionally mature. The game starts with an amazing intro cutscene to get you filled into what leads into the beginning of the game, introducing the Hedgehog mechanic and Chip, who Sonic bonds with and treats more and more like a little brother, with both Sonic and Chip maturing as Sonic realizes his weight on the world and how everyone, including some of his old friends, are depending on him to keep the world from plunging into darkness. As a result of being woken up prematurely by Eggman while summoning Dark Gaia, Chip loses all memories of his purpose as Light Gaia. Chip matures as the game progresses, remembering little by little with Sonic's help, and upon arriving to the 6th continent, Chip is sucked into a mural in Adabat, and suddenly regains all memories of his purpose. And while feeling down and not like himself, Sonic reminds Chip that no matter who you are or what you become, you're still yourself at core. Sonic Unleashed provides not only the most developed story of a modern Sonic game yet, but makes you feel a more emotional and personal connection to the characters. They can't all do perfect, and there are hiccups down the road, but everyone makes mistakes, and those mistakes should be learned from. Sonic Unleashed was the big hit that Sonic needed to keep afloat. And not only did they nail the mark, they blew the mark high out of the water by reinventing Sonic at the core. Not only laying down the foundation for what was to come, but perfecting the formula at the same time. Sonic Unleashed is a perfect experience for any old or new Sonic fan, paced out perfectly so anyone can pick it up and go. Hey, thanks for watching. I know this isn't my typical style of video that I put out, but I wanted to experiment just a little bit in a format that I'm not familiar with. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you don't mind, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment. I'd love to see what you guys think of this format. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next one.